Shalom, shalom is your brother Yahawah. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises to the one true power, Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Yahweh is the most high God, and Yahawashi to the world, ignorantly called Jesus Christ. The Kakodash with the Holy Spirit and the pivotal people. Give honor to the other apostles, the other bishops, the other prophets, well, the Spirit, the one that continues to be sincere, and most of the ministry. Everybody shalom to the whole elect, the scattered folk over the earth. Teaching His word and believing His word, Lord, when you continue with the same spirit and doing being sincere. Shalom to the Aquadians that are believers in the Most High word. Lord, when you continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. Lord, willing the Most High have mercy on all the brothers and sisters that's not in faith. While I'm at work, um, you know, reading Galatians. And the first chapter, it was hitting. And in my mind, I'm like, you know what? We're going to have to bring something out. So I'm going to share it with you. I mean, Lord willing, you probably read it too. The Lord willing, the Most High can help us grow in faith, right? So I'm going to read it in the KJV and the GNT. I want us to leave with the edification we need to grow in the Most High's ministry. So Galatians chapter 1, verse 6 to 10. And I'm going to read the KJV first. That's on the right hand side. It says, I marvel that ye are so soon removed from him that called you into the grace of Hamashiach unto another gospel, which is not another. But there be some that trouble you and will pervert the gospel of Hamashiach, right? And there's people doing that right now, perverting the gospel of Hamashiach, and then let alone trying to teach the law, but not even teaching the law, about drowning you in the law, but not trying to drown you in Yahawah, because that's the biggest thing. Even though we walked away or didn't care about the law, but it was really just the flesh, in the spirit, you're drawn to move to please the Lord. This is not flesh pleasing. If you want flesh pleasing, lay with your girl or lay with your man. The Lord is dealing with the inward man. That's why you have to remember those type of precepts. 1 Samuel 6 and 7. Verse 8, it says, But though we or an angel from heaven preach any other gospel unto you, that which we have preached unto you, let him be accursed. As we said before, so say I now again. If any man preach any other gospel unto you, then that ye have received, let him be accursed. For do I now persuade men or God, or do I seek to please men? For if I yet pleased men, I should not be the servant of Hamashiach, right? So if we're here to please men, we're not a true servant of Hamashiach Yahawashi. You know, every day you should be decreasing while the Lord is increasing. If you do have a job that's paying you well, I'm happy for you. You know, but this is not. You want to be Lazarus in the spirit. Lazarus was a poor man, which IUIC would say a bum. I'd rather be a bum for the Lord. Because it takes me away from thinking of the flesh. We have moments where we do, like I do dress up, but you don't want to think fleshly. You don't want to move fleshly. That might go over some people's head, but this Galatians chapter 1 in the GNT, starting at verse 6, it says, that's the left hand side, just to make sure y'all know, it says, I am surprised at you. In no time at all, you are deserting the one who called you by the grace of Hamashiach and are accepting other gospel, right? And that's the stiff neck of Israel. You know what I'm saying? But really, that's the stiff neck of the action of the two-thirds. You know, the elect is going to be drawn to this. You know, whenever the Lord calls you, St. John 6:44, the Most High will draw you to His Son, and Yahawah will be the one to raise you up in the last days. You know, verse 7 it says, "Actually, there is no other gospel, but I say this because there are some people who are upsetting you and trying to change the gospel of Mashiach. But even if we or any angel from heaven should preach to you a gospel that is different from the one we preach to you, may he be condemned to hell. We have said this before, and now I say it again. If anyone preaches to you a gospel that is different from the one you accepted, may he be condemned to hell." Does this sound as if I'm trying to win human approval? No, indeed. What I want is God's approval. Am I trying to be popular with people? If I were still trying to do so, I would not be a servant of Hamashiach. Now that hit me more because, in the world, and, really being in the flesh, it's not that I want, it was just the action. I wanted to be popular, or I wanted to be known. I wanted to be something that make everybody laugh, the center of attention. However you may look at it, but how I'm seeing in the scripture, this is not about popularity game. This is not about a contest. This is the battle is really against the enemies that rule in high places. The battle is against the left hand side of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi, good against evil. You know, and for the children that's moving in the spirit, they're not in this thing for popular gain. You know, just like the brothers I labor with. But watching the elder apostles, this is not about views and likes, because then your flesh start to get cocky. Just like, oh man, I follow over 450 of the laws perfectly. Now you boasting in the flesh. In the spirit, we don't do that because we ought to walk like Yahawah. 1 John chapter 2. Yahawah didn't boast. That even more hits. But it was one thing, there was another one. He said, what I want is God approval, right? Because he's not trying to win man's approval. So, dang, I don't want to leave this, but I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. I'm gonna have to. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 15, and I'm gonna put KJV and the GNT because um, I want you to see it, right? Because he said he's trying to win approval of Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. This is 2 Timothy chapter 2 verse 15. In the KJV, I'm going to read it on the right hand side. It says, "Study to show thyself approved unto God, a workman that needeth not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth." Right? And that can go in two ways. Truth is the word from Genesis to 2nd Maccabees, Genesis to Revelation. And the truth, very plainly, is Yahawah. Right? um, 2 Timothy chapter 2, verse 15, it says, "Do your best to win full approval in God's sight as a worker who is not ashamed of his work, one who correctly teaches the message of God's truth." Right? The work is not only the law, right? Your spirit is going to naturally draw you to doing it, you know? And especially when you're in the spirit, um, let me take this off. Um, what is the one? Yeah, uh, First Thessalonians chapter 5. What is it? Yeah, right here. The fear of the Lord is to abstain from all appearances of evil, right? And if First Corinthians, First Corinthians chapter 2, verse 10 and 11, which I bring out fluently, in order for us to know the deep things of the Most High, to really get in there, the Lord will have to put His Spirit, the Rakakwadash, upon us, through Hamashiach Yahawashi. We can't really say we have a relationship with the Lord and we're not on a deep level. You know, the Lord revealed deep things, to His prophets. If you're a prophet, a true man of the Lord, you're not gonna say, um, I don't sin, because you're a damn liar, you know, let alone the spirit within you if you do got the Rakakwadash. Um, that Rakakwadash don't labor in deceit. Let me see if I can find it. I think it's around 22. Um, let me see. No, no. Between, hold on. Okay, I'm gonna read it right here. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 7, in verse 22. It says, "For in her," which is talking about wisdom, in Greek, wisdom is called Sophia. It says, "For in her is an understanding spirit, holy, one only, manifold, subtile, lively, clear, undefiled, plain, not subject to hurt, loving the thing that is good, quick, which cannot be letted, ready to do good." What is good, right? The law is good. We see that in Romans. So naturally, if you're filled with this spirit, the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of knowledge, the spirit of truth, you're going to be guided to doing the things that please the Lord. You're not going to naturally eat pork if you're filled with the Rakakwadash. Let alone you feel guilty upon it. Like how Paul, he said, "I don't even deserve to be apostle. I was persecuting the church, you know." But the Lord made him studious. He doubled up. He went harder. But he didn't do it to please men. He did it to please Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. But he still, the Lord had made this man humble. They teach, I teach, we teach the same thing. That's what's being in unity. That's the body of Hamashiach Yahawashi, teaching the truth, the same thing from beginning to end. You know, in this spirit, this Wakakwadash is ready to do good, you know, but the flesh goes off. Romans chapter 7, verse 15 to 21, you know, we do things that we don't want to do. We do things that we hate to do, but it's really the flesh, right? If you could physically have your spirit right in front of you and you in the flesh, it would be a battle royale, right? So let's just get this, and I'm gonna just close it. I gotta go back into work. Galatians chapter 5, verse 16. It says, "This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh." When we drop down to verse 25, if we live of the spirit, if we walk in the spirit, we must live in the spirit, right? But the only way we can live is if we live in Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. So the best way to live in the Rakakwadash is keep asking Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi to fill you. Keep taking accountability. Keep letting him know that you're weak and you can't do nothing without him. A lot of us get too cocky or we get too comfortable. We start slacking on praying to the Lord, thanking him, you know. Some of us is doing a lot of this teaching or moving on our own will. But you have to know all these lessons and videos is programmed by the Rakakwadash. It's either you're going to get exposed or the Lord is going to use you to encourage other people to come in this thing full force and faith, you know. The spirit is going to automatically dislike the things that the Lord don't like. And sometimes you're going to stumble because you might not be on fire every day for the Lord. You might not be thinking about the Lord all the time. You have to know the left-hand side is going to creep unaware. And it's really the flesh, because you got to know the flesh have cravings just like the spirit. Look, verse 17, and I'm closing. "For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary one to another, so that ye cannot do the things that ye do." Right? And a brother's going to shove the law on you. You're going to always be in a battle between the flesh and the spirit. But we overcome the flesh by moving in the spirit. But you have to call on Yahawah Bahasham Yahawashi. Second Ezra said, I mean, not Second Ezra, but Ezra in Second Ezra, so like again, chapter 2, like the last three verses in the 40s, he He's because he's seen the multitude, and he was like, "Yo, what is this?" And the angel said, "These are the multitude that stood stiffly for the name of the Lord." You think it was the law that had us do that? It was faith. Let alone it is in the law for us to believe in Yahawashi, but even more, it's the faith. Because there's so many names out here. Faith drew you to the name, not the law didn't draw you to the name. It was the faith, sure without a doubt that this is the name. You know, faith is hope, things of unseen. You know, I'm not a master at Hebrew. Even more, it shows that I have faith because I'm not. I don't know all Hebrew. I can't line it. The Greeks, I still got to get guided in it. But through faith, I know that this is real because it draws me to learn. It draws me to go deeper. But Lord willing, this is edifying. Um, it was to me. But with that, I'm gonna say shalom, shalom. And this one again, continue to hold on to your faith. Shalom.